Hello, caller.
Yes, hi, Winslow.
Hi, Mary.
Hi. I just wanted people to know about what was going on with Rexhame Beach.
Yes.
Certainly, Rexhame Beach is a tremendously valuable and beautiful resource for the town, and really thousands of people in the course of the summer enjoy Rexhame Beach. Rexhame Beach goes from where the blacktop parking lot is, extends south down past Beatles Rocks, and it continues on down towards where the seawall starts. Now,
right.
The seawall starts at about Rexhame Road. But everything north of that is Rexhame Beach. And the southern part of Rexhame Beach, about 2/3 of a mile, there's been some question or dispute for a number of years as to the ownership of that beach. Basically, when you look at the title to the Marshfield seashore, the title to the shore primarily traces back to the town of Marshfield. The town gave out deeds along the seashore in the late 1800s and early 1900s to help developers who wanted to sort of create a summer resort area along the Marshfield coast. So the town of Marshfield cooperated with that and gave out deeds, and these neighborhoods were established along the seashore. That happened as well in Rexhame, where the town did give out a deed to the seashore covering from Porter Street north up to where the big parking lot is. But the town also gave out a deed along the seawall in Fieldston. But there's a spot there in between Porter Street and the seawall, where the seawall starts. It's about 2/3 of a mile where the town never gave out a deed. And I went through about 300 years worth of deeds from the town of Marshfield, and I went through them twice. It was quite a project. And I looked at all the deeds. I found many covering the seashore, but no deed ever covering that particular parcel. So that really caused a question as to whether these people along the beach there who were saying that they had acquired some kind of private right in the beach were really accurate in what they were saying. We did further research, and it turned out that there was an old court case called Briggs Thomas versus the inhabitants of Marshfield, which held that the beach was a public common, not private property. The Supreme Judicial Court ruled in 1832 that the beach was a public common highway and landing place and had been so used for more than a century. So the Supreme Judicial Court ruling covers quite an ancient part of Marshfield history. All indications are that the beach has been public for hundreds of years. Now, there's been a land court case that was filed in 1998 over this. The town didn't come into the suit, but the Attorney General did come into the suit and claim that under the Briggs Thomas case, this part of Rexhame Beach was a public beach, and it remained a public beach because there never had been any deed from the town of Marshfield or any other way that the beach could have been made a private beach. The people who live along that part of the beach say that they had acquired a deed from the Thomas family that, used to own the farm that covered most of Rexhame. But this court case in 1832, there were actually 3 court rulings. There was one the first ruling was in 1829, and the Court of Common Pleas, which was the predecessor to Superior Court in Plymouth, that ruled that Briggs Thomas did not own the beach. And he asserted many arguments, and the court found that he failed on all of those arguments. He had no basis at all for claiming ownership of Rexhame Beach. Then there was another ruling by the Supreme Judicial Court in 1830 where Briggs Thomas argued that he had acquired a private right in the common from the town of Marshfield, and the court ruled that he had never acquired any private rights from the town of Marshfield. Then there was the last ruling was in 1832, which said that the beach was public and that there was no basis at all for him to say that he had acquired any kind of private right by grazing his cows there. And this is the common that was used for the grazing of cows. So the whole series of rulings made it very clear that the Thomas family never owned that beach. And the people who live along the beach there in those big houses, one of them looks like a mansion with a big clock on it, they asserted in the lawsuit they filed in 1998 that their claim was based on
she has a TV at home.
That they had acquired an ownership right from the Thomas family. So,
Mary,
yeah.
Can I interrupt you just a minute?
Sure.
Can you see this map on your screen?
Yes, I can.
Could you point out approximately where this is?
Yes. See where it says Rexhame Beach?
Yeah.
Right there. Where it says Rexhame Beach. There's you can see.
Oh, okay.
So you can see sort of a space that doesn't have streets.
Right.
That section right there.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes. Is that chunk of beach that they are trying to say is private. But in any event, so the case has gone on for 10 years, and these people have never been able to show that they had any private right to that beach. For 10 years, they filed a suit and they bore the burden of proof. But for 10 years, they have failed to meet the burden of proof. However, much to our surprise, the Attorney General's office just announced last Thursday in Land Court that although these people have failed for 10 years to show how they could privately own that beach, despite this prior litigation involving the Thomas family, and despite never having a deed from the town of Marshfield, the Attorney General's office said that they're going to relinquish all the public rights in that beach, so that although this beach has been a common for hundreds of years, those public rights will be released by the Attorney General's office pursuant to what they're calling a settlement. But it isn't a settlement, really. It's a giveaway of the public rights.
Right.
The only thing remaining under the settlement, the last I've heard of it, is that the public will retain the right to walk between the high and low water mark, but there's no usage of the beach for sunbathing or recreation. You can't put your towel or chair there. You can't play there or dig sandcastles anymore. All of that usage will be prohibited once the public rights are lost. So while the public can still walk across between the high and low water mark, at high tide there would be no right to even cross the beach because you'd have to walk in the water. You wouldn't be able to walk above the high water mark.
There's only a couple in Town Hall that can walk in the water.
Yeah.
Mary, who was the lucky owners of the beach?
Well, that's another thing. It's really unclear as to who these people are who are claiming that they own the beach. The case started 10 years ago it was started by Frank LaPierre and James Roderick and some others, but some of these people have sold their properties or some have died, and as to who actually remains in the case is unclear. I've asked the lawyer who's representing them many times to clarify who these people are at this point who are claiming the beach, and he has not been willing to reveal that. And I've also said to the Attorney General's office that I find it very troubling that they would be giving up these rights to these people when they don't even know who they are. I mean, they don't know.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah, they don't know who's still alive in the case, who has sold their properties, who's moved away. And in terms of these trusts,
It feels them.
they don't know even who the beneficiaries of these trusts are. So it's really irresponsible conduct on the part of the Attorney General's office. And I think also the town has not stepped forward to help with this at all. The town is letting the citizens do all the work, and it's very disappointing to see the government.
Thanks very much.
You know, for the government to be dealing with historic public rights like this and to just give them away so that the public is left with virtually no beach usage in that area, I think it's irresponsible.
Huh?